So hi everybody. Thank you all for coming. This is truly exciting for us. And we've been working in Optimove for years. We've known a lot of you guys for years, and being able to do this today, it means a lot to us, and it's very exciting. And oddly enough, actually 3 people in the company got married here, and I'm one of them. So it's really weird, but different types of excitement. So I'm going to talk today about Optimove. And my session will include a story, some content, and hopefully I can provide some value to you guys, the past, the present, and the future. So first and foremost, we are a startup company, and Israel is the startup nation. So it's always interesting to hear about a story. How did this startup happen? What happened? How did it start? And we have a very unique story, so I'd like to tell you this story, and I'm sure you'll find it interesting and exciting. So we had Barak Libai here from academia, and actually Optimove also started in academia. This is the Wolfson Building of Engineering in Tel Aviv University. Some of you that went there probably remember this building is a very known building. And me and my partner, Dr. Shachar Cohen, was here. We met there, and we thought of the first concept of the company there. And we thought of this new way to model customers, and we were very green. We didn't know anything. We were just like, came from a very naive perspective, but this is how we got started. And we were tenacious, and we never gave up, and we wanted to do this really badly, and this is how Mobius Solutions were born. So I don't know if you know, but our previous brand is actually Mobius, and I think just maybe 2 years ago, people in the company were still saying, yeah, I like working in Mobius, and Mobius, and Mobius. It was still Mobius, and it's because we both liked from math, the Mobius stripe. So we went with this name. This was Mobius Solutions. And Mobius essentially was not Optimove yet. It was a company that's, first of all, a bootstrap. So we never raised money. And we built the business based on revenues. So we needed to work with clients. And we provided services because we didn't have a product. We couldn't code. We couldn't build a software product. But we were asking organizations to give us their customer data. And we would model that data and basically do some of the similar things we do today. We would run campaigns and do analysis and dashboards and interesting things, and we found we were quite good at it. But it was a bootstrap, and I don't know if you know, a startup that does not raise money, it's called a bootstrap because it's like trying to lift yourself by pulling your own boots, which is like an impossible task. But this is what we did. And there's not many stories about bootstrapping. Today, most people, they would raise money and they would try to do it faster. And there's many advantages to bootstrapping. And I think a lot of you guys still see in our DNA and the type of company we are that this is one of our core values. We've done, and we still do that, right? We still grow the business organically by working with you guys. And then very appreciative. And it's an actual old style business. So you can still do that in software. And what you don't know about bootstrapping, that it does have one very peculiar side effect. It makes you really, really chubby. So this is chubby me back in the bootstrapping days in our old office. So you're very stressed and you eat a lot, and that's what happens. So this was us in Mobius. It was a small office in Shchunat Atikva, which is kind of like a second-tier neighborhood, to say the least. And maybe third or fourth tier. And we had a lot of fun in Mobius. This is kind of like the office. We're just a few people. And as I said, it was a services businesses. We got data from customers. We analyzed it. We modeled it. We helped them. We worked closely with them, providing Excels and PowerPoints and stuff like that. But in our vision and in our mind, we always knew we were going to be a software company. It was always in our mind. From the first discussion, we got a few grants from the chief scientist. We started to develop the software. We hired the first developer who still works with us. He's our head of product today. And this is Shachar Cohen, my co-founder. And we always knew we wanted to be a software company. So this was in our DNA from the beginning, despite the fact that we were not at all at the time. So pivots, when you build a company, you need to change up, right? You need to adapt, to move. So it's called pivoting in the world of startups and software. We didn't pivot completely because the basic model that we had at the time is the same model we use today. It's the same model from academia, with microsegments and then migrations between them and predicting lifetime value and things like that. It's the same model, but we had two pivots. And the first pivot was around vertical focus. So at the beginning, we worked with people like that. We worked with one of the big cellular companies in Israel, and we worked with one retail chain, and the Macy's of Israel. It's a nice way to call them a shpil, right? The Macy's, they would like that. They're very far from Macy's, but they would like that. So these were the kind of companies we worked with, and we saw that, and it wasn't that great. It wasn't that great. It was good for the time. We learned a lot, but we saw that when we do the same presentation and when we show exactly the same things to other types of businesses, namely internet businesses, you guys, and obviously today we're shifting and we're going back to these guys, but at the time when we focused on internet businesses, we just swapped. So these were the first few ones that we worked with instead of the ones I showed you. So the first pivot was actually saying we're not going to go to meetings with the telcos and the big retailers. We're just going to focus on this vertical. So focus is extremely important, and just mastering one thing and being very good at it. The second pivot was, at the beginning, we started as a predictive model, as I said, from academia, and we always try to make it act. So we would tell clients, let us have your client data. All the actions you do with your customers, there's a reason we're called Optimove, because we can show you what's the best action. Just give us the data and we'll recommend what you can do with it. And they never had the data. They never had anything. The data is over there and over here in Excel files and yada, yada, yada. So we've just built a campaign management to store all this data of actions and communications you're doing on your customers. So essentially, this is the famous Optimove calendar where you plan and design all of your customer communications. And it was born it was 2012. So the company started at 2009. And 3 years later, 2012, we added campaign management and we never looked back. It was a brilliant move, changed the company completely. So that's the Optimove story, and it brings me to nowadays. So nowadays, what's happening today? So a few things. Let's start with a few stats. So as a company today, we're in the growth stage. So startups go through different phases. You have product market fit, things like that. Today we're actually at the growth stage. We did 100% growth in revenue year over year. We grow the staff substantially. We grow 60% a year in terms of employee size. Today, around 70 employees, mainly in Tel Aviv, but we have an office in London and New York, mainly sales and marketing, but it's built as a global company. And 150 brands use Optimove, so it's really exciting for us, and it's a big, crucial volume of companies using Optimove. And in gaming, as I said, it goes back to the beginning, we are the leaders of that industry by far. So retention marketing for gaming, and gaming related, so you have the social gaming guys. We have Jelly Button here, which they're probably one of the only ones that don't do this type of casino games, but gaming companies, the financial trading. So this is definitely our niche, but in the last year, Optimove is definitely starting to diversify the client portfolio. So what happens today, we're taking the same technology and applying it for telcos, e-commerce, apps, different types of businesses, and we have many examples. So this is La Perla from the UK, just a great picture, so you got to show it. It's a lingerie a retailer in the UK. It's actually an Italian company, but they're a client of ours. Nelly.com, which is a Swedish company. They're leaders in fashion for young women, 18 to 24, trendy fashion. Really strong, big company, very strong in fashion. We have Lucky Vitamin in Philadelphia. So again, US is getting stronger and stronger for us. They do, health food, vitamins, supplements, all of this world of around health. Numi, they do hairstyling products and things like that. It's a company out in LA, Los Angeles. Food Panda, it's kind of like the food delivery service of Europe. It's a very strong company. They're based in Germany, and they use Optimove extensively, Facebook custom audience and email and all the channels, and they use predictive. They're really smart guys. They're a client in Europe. Get Wines Direct, actually from Australia. So it's classic retailer that sells wine to your house. It's a subscription model, very interesting as well. Lastminute.com. So just recently started working with this massive company, a travel company, one of the strongest ones in the UK and Europe, Lastminute.com. So they're going to use Optimove in various ways. And a shout out to our Israeli friends. So Adika is a client, and Walla Shops is a client. So e-commerce in Israel as well are getting on board. So this is kind of like the state that we're in terms of verticals. And I want to tell you, our clients, is that our growth is very good for you guys. So this is something to reassure you. Essentially, as time goes by, you're getting a better and better and better product. And unfortunately, you're paying around the same. So, but you're getting a better product because we are essentially beefing up all aspects of the business. So this is a picture of our success management team. The four wonder. So these girls at the success management, they're amazing. They're working closely with you guys to make you more successful, and the level of skill and the things they can do and the level of talent of this team is amazing. Product innovation. So these are pictures from the real time we released. OptiTrack. All of these things we wouldn't be able to do unless we were growing and we're able to beef up the company and provide you with a stronger and stronger solution as time goes by and maintain our market leadership. But we practice what we preach. We preach retention, and we believe in that ourselves. So this is why we invest on these things. This is why we do this event. We truly believe that having a long lifetime of a customer, working closely with the customer is strategic for our success. And last but not least, the Optimove Academy. I don't know if you looked at this, hopefully, because we're working a lot on it. It's this massive resource center with videos and articles, and you can actually go there and not even speak one. You don't have to talk to these girls. Obviously, it's more fun, but you don't have to. Everything is in the academy, and you can be very successful by just working with the academy. So our mission as a company nowadays, and our mission is to help you grow your business through your existing customers. And this is, our square-headed guys. We just got a fresh content batch. And we do that by combining the marketing art and data science. So the idea is basically invest in your existing customers, get to know them better using the data, use the art of marketing to communicate with them in a smart manner, and this becomes a growth engine. It's very easy to invest more money in acquisition, additional budget to another campaign and another type of acquisition technology or a channel I'm using. But just like Barak Libai said, and actually he said it, the professor that gave the keynote before, retention is also acquisition, because a viral loop becomes a very strong acquisition channel. So if you are focusing only on acquisition, and once customers are in, you're not fostering the relationship and making the most of it. It's just like, putting water in a bucket with holes. So this is our mission, but how can you really drive growth through customer marketing? To do that, you need to be very agile. And when I talk about agile, I'm thinking of this notion of software development, right? In software development, we have agile versus waterfall. So in the past, people would spec out a software, and then they would take 6 months or 1 year to build the software. Once you finish building it, it's no longer relevant. And the world of software has evolved to work in agile cycles, and you have this thing called sprints, and people are working with Scrum, and really quickly you build something, you roll it out to your users, you change it, you tweak it, and that's the way you need to do it also in marketing, in customer marketing. But if you think about it, you need to do a paradigm shift. So a lot of companies are still building, their retention marketing using this notion of a campaign. I'm going to do my back to school campaign. I'm going to do my churn campaign. And then, you come up with a brief, you go to the design team, they build something, you go to the data team, you get the segment, you go to another team, you get the financial crediting, you do this whole thing, and let's just push it out there. And after 1 month, we finish with this project. Everybody, we even, by then we forget what was the initial idea. We lost the excitement. We finished the project, then it takes another 2 or 3 weeks to analyze it, and then we want to see the results, but because it's so heavy, we got to do something that's going to drive the needle. It has to move the needle. If it doesn't move the needle, I don't want to do it. So you lose a lot of creativity, because if I have a very innovative idea of something small, it's just a group of 200 people. That's not gonna move the needle. So why should we do it? We should do this big campaign. But today with digital marketing and technologies like Optimove, you can actually build new personalized communication within hours, and you can build, and you should build many, many more every week and every month. And you should have this notion of being very systematic and at scale. So it can't be just a few campaigns. It can't be just one campaign or two campaigns or even 5 a month. You need to always have something for everybody. So every client goes in, is in a different group, a different micro segments, as this picture illustrates. Your customers will just jump between the different treatments that you have as they change their behavior. So you're always going to be so agile and so adaptive to their wants and needs, which will ultimately be a growth engine. And it's about cumulative. People said it in the panel as well. Like, there's no one killer campaign. And as Ofer said, so if you find it, it's going to die out. So it's about this a lot of iteration of accumulation of small and minute campaigns that will add up to something big. So if you have hundreds of these, you're going to kill it. But it's not enough just to be agile. You need to be smart about your communication. So I can do 100 groups, but how do I know what's the right groups, what's the right messages, how am I being smarter from experiments? Can I react in multiple channels? Can I talk in real time? So these are basically the 4 core capabilities of Optimove, and again, new creative. The predictive modeling, you need to be able to predict. You can't do everything based on just to wait 6 months to see what happened. You need to always improve. So this notion of ever-increasing personalization, talk in many channels, Facebook, SMS, email, direct, all of these channels, retargeting. Simultaneously, the customer sees you in so many places that it works. And real-time targeting. So essentially, this is us today. This is what we do today. This is where we are today. You see us today. You're here. Today is Optimove Connect. And talking about vision and future innovation. And this is where I need you guys to really listen in, because I'm hoping I'm not going to tire you too much with the science here. But we have a very, very innovative thing planned out for you. Before that, let's talk again about our vision. Our vision, we don't like the notion of personalization, because personalization is something very technical. Dear Pini. Okay, now it's winter, so I go into a website, I see a picture of coats. And then somebody else goes into the website and he's a warm state, so he sees a picture of a bathing suit. This is personalization. We're talking about the next level of empowering brands to be actually sensitive and to display this type of emotional intelligence when they talk with their customers. It's very difficult, right? How can you do that? A brand is something very big, but a brand does have a lot of values associated with it, right? Every brand, you think about it, okay, it's a place I can get a good bargain. Or in fashion, it's really big, right? If there's a fashion brand that I'm into, wow, so it comes into effect with the copy, the type of creative, the styling they do. But imagine that a brand would have a personality in the way they communicate. So if you think about emotional intelligence, people with high emotional intelligence, these are people that are able to notice a lot of nuances in many, many dimensions, right? So I see that somebody's, his intonation of the voice was different today. He was saying the same things, but something about the intonation, something about the types of faces. I'm getting data from so many sources, and then I'm able to adapt and change my behavior based on the person I'm talking to. And only if I'm a person with a high emotional intelligence, and it really creates people with strong performance. So emotional intelligence is about noticing minute and granular details. So when I think about it, it's kind of like if we go to an analogy, right? So let's think of our customer database as a TV screen. And I have my customer database with all the data and the way my customers look like, and I also know how they look like, all the things that I've done with them. Everything is in the database, all the historical experiments. And if it's a TV screen, in a TV screen, what you want to see, eventually you want to see the picture. So you want to understand the picture of your customers' wants and needs. And if you start out and you're a bit crude and you're pixelated, So imagine every one pixel is like a segment, right? It's like a customer segment that you're trying to target. And maybe I'm saying, okay, for these people, I'm going to provide them with the blue offer. And for these people, I'm going to provide them with a green offer. And I'm just flattening everything, right? It's very easy for us to understand if we match it to like the world of a TV screen, that as you increase granularity or as you increase definition, you're going to be more specific. And you're going to say, hey, wait a second, it's not blue here, it's blue here, and it's actually beige over there. And you increase granularity, and eventually you go to the place of high definition. So if you have high definition, you're actually able to see the true picture of what goes on. And you see all the nuances and all the interesting things, and imagine if you can act on it. So an HD picture of your customer wants and needs will allow for emotionally intelligent communication at scale. If I can only paint this picture, right? If I can actually divide all my customers and know exactly what I need to do with each and every one of them and do it like, be very, very granular with a lot of definition. But it's really hard when I don't have the technology. So how can one create such an HD picture? Well, announcing. So we want to announce here, it's essentially a new product. It's rolled out. It's not yet ready. It's like it's out of the lab. So the laboratory, we finished the work. Now we need to build it. But essentially, it did make amazing results in the lab. And we're announcing OptiBot. So OptiBot likes music. No, I'm kidding. It's just, the conductor, and it doesn't necessarily like music. But this is the high-definition CRM bot. So it's going to do everything automatically, and it can help you paint this HD picture of your customers' wants and needs. And it will actually make you more money because, as we saw in the picture, if you're able to be more granular and you're able to avoid this flattening when you miss the picture. So high definition CRM, it allows you to run the best action for every customer every time, and you can increase your lifetime value even more than what you do today with Optimove. So how will it work? And this is the I'll try to be simple here. So OptiBot starts with this notion of a self-learning campaign. And imagine this is like one target group in your Optimove, and you have a campaign that runs twice a week. So I have 7 boxes here for the days of the week. And twice a week, I'm running the same campaign. But this is not a regular campaign when I'm running, one action or maybe an A/B test or an ABC test. This is a campaign with 3 actions: the blue action, the purple action, and the yellow action. But what OptiBot does, OptiBot will self-learn the right proportion of each of the actions on the group. So what's the best action for this group? So in this case, the blue action has taken over. It's the best action, but it's not an A/B test that I'm just saying, okay, this will be 40%, this is something that changes and adapts as the campaign is getting real results. So based on the results that you're getting in the campaign, you're basically self-learning how to improve. However, that's just the beginning. We want to increase the definition. We want to have higher resolution. So just one campaign of active customers is not enough. We want to split it out to, additional 3 campaigns. So then OptiBot will say, hey, I've been learning this campaign, this self-learning campaign. I have some stats, and I think that what you should do now, I have a recommendation for you. And what you should do now is you should increase CRM definition by automatically turning one broader campaign into 3 more granular, profitable campaigns. And that means that if this is our campaign, you can open it up, and you see that in sub-segments, or these are the smaller pixels, you can actually see that active of high value versus active mid value versus active low value, across these 3 groups, you see different results than what you saw in the overall big, broader group. And you see that the blue campaign, the blue action is the best one at the top, and the purple action is the best one at the bottom. And by doing that, all of a sudden, these people at the bottom that they love the yellow action, they're going to get it. They're going to get the yellow action. And this is how you can always increase the level of high definition and always open up. And this will be automatically. Today, you need to do it by yourselves. You need to go in, you need to drill in, you need to study, you need to learn, okay, how can I break this campaign? I have a recommendation in Optimove, but it just opens it into 2 sub-segments. This will automatically paint the high-definition picture of your customer wants and needs and take action on it. To sum up, so yeah, this is, hopefully you know this guy. So we at Optimove, we are combining art and science, and this is part of our DNA. So our DNA consists of science, art, and innovation. You see, we're always, even now, I couldn't help myself. I had to, kill you with complexities. but it's part of where we're going, and we like that. We like to be innovative. We like to be ahead of the curve, and our plan is to build a big global company using these core elements as our bedrock. So this is us. I want to thank you a lot. Really thank you personally for each and every one of you for being a part of our success and our amazing journey. We don't take it for granted. And thanks a lot. Enjoy the rest.